Folks, this live stream is brought to you by my sponsor AAA-FX. Now, they're a fully regulated broker in Europe and South Africa, offering Forex indices, commodities, crypto, and over 100 stocks. Now, at AAA-FX, you pay no commission on any Forex pair using their ECN Plus account and low commissions on cryptos and stocks. Plus, you can deposit with cash or crypto, get a free VPS with deposits over 5K, and easily integrate the well-known copy trade service Zulu Trade. While you're waiting for the stream to start, go and check them out by clicking the link in the description, comments, or visit AAAFX.com.
Hey guys, what's up? How is everyone doing tonight, this morning, and this afternoon? It is 7 p.m. here by me as per usual. Today is the 23rd of August 2022. What we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be taking a look at any past analysis that I may or may not have had. We're going to take a look at what happened. I would have been wrong on some, I would have been right on some. We're going to take a look at a few trades that would have played out. It's going to be quite interesting in terms of what we see and all what plays out. Yeah, so let's get straight into it. What was your trading week like? You can put that in the comments or in the chat. What was your trading week like? Did you have a good week? Did you have a bad week? Between now and our last live, what was your trading week like? All right, so we'll get straight into it. Let's go share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. All right, good. So yeah, while I'm just, let me know if you can see my screen here. Should be seeing AUDJPY up. Just put a yes or no in the chat for me. And while you're at it, you can just let me know if you, or how was your trading week between today and last week. How was your trading week? I had an okayish week. Right? Yeah, y'all see my screen? Beautiful. So yeah, so let's go. So let's take a look at some of the different things. So anything, once I open this here, anything that you see with this red tag on it, I either have my eye on it, had my eye on it, or traded it in some way, right? And there were 5 analysis specifically I produced last week, and if I can call them out, if I can remember, UJ, GU, gold, NZDCAD, and I can't remember the last one. I believe it would have been EU. Was it EU, boy? So UJ, GU, NZDCAD, gold. It probably would have been GE. It probably would have been EU. Yes, it was EU. It was EU, I think. Right. So let's start with EU. So basically on EU, first things first, this is what I had drawn, right? If I can remember. I think it was EU. I'll tell you about CADJPY just now, but I'm taking a look at the past first, because obviously in order to learn and grow, you need to pay attention to what has happened in the past. Those who fail to acknowledge history are doomed to repeat it, right? So we're looking back at what would have happened if I was wrong, if I was right. So I want you to compare this live stream, anybody listening live, do yourself a favor, all right? Don't take my word for it. Go back and look at the last live stream I did exactly 7 days ago, right? Literally last Tuesday, same place, same time. Go back and look at the last live stream I did and see if I produced this exact analysis. I'm not changing any charts to do anything. This is exactly what I would have said, right? So on EU, I think I would have said, I think EU was the chart, right? I said that EU could potentially push up into this area, grab some liquidity above this area, and then drop. Now, what I did not see, and I'll be honest about this, is it creating this double top or this M pattern at the high. I did not anticipate this. I honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I anticipated just a spike up and then a drop. Now, interestingly enough, EU dropped all of the way, and just about the area I said it would stop is about the area it stopped. You can't make this up, guys. You cannot make this up. Now, interestingly enough, the reason for me drawing this is actually very, very simple. So what a lot of people do, right? What a lot of people do is they would try to treat the market like it's going to reverse every single day, right? And they would look for, price to sell off of a resistance. They would look for price to buy off of a support. They might be looking for M's and W's. Now, the question is, what is stopping you from identifying an M or a W any and everywhere? I can say that this right here is an M. I could say that maybe I could say maybe this is a W here. I could say that maybe this is an M, maybe this is an M. What is interesting about a reversal is a very particular thing. A reversal is very specific, right? The reason a reversal is very specific, right, is you have to understand that a reversal is based off of an induction. So you see here on EURUSD that it is actually a very nice bull trend being created here, right? Now, again, nobody knows what the market is going to do, but based on experience, I've seen this happen already, right? And everywhere that price hits this trend line, there are traders, maybe even some of you listening to this would have bought this trend line, right? And everywhere price hits this trend line, we know that traders are buying. And because traders are buying, there'll be stop losses below their buys, right? So you're going to have zones that look maybe something like this, right? And then you're going to have maybe this and so on, right? And everywhere beneath these zones, there will be stop losses because that's what traders learn. Majority of traders, once you enter a trade, you know that it is to put your stop loss below the last low. Is that what you learn? If that's what you learn, then yes, you can leave a like. The interesting thing is, if there are stop losses beneath this zone, it makes sense, in my opinion, for the dealer to drive price back to this zone to grab the liquidity of those zones. What do we mean by a liquidity grab? Let's think about it, right? We know that if you enter a trade and you leave it to run, let's just say you enter a trade on a live account and you leave it to run, no stop loss, no take profit. If it's winning, it's because it's pulling money from somebody else's account and it's being put into yours. It may be the market, but trust me, there are losers feeding the winners. If you are losing money, if you open a trade, no stop loss, no take profit, and the trade is losing, what is happening is the market is pulling that money from your account in the sense of liquidity. It's grabbing the liquidity from your account and actually sending it to the winners. It's being distributed amongst the winners. That's what we consider a liquidity grab. Now, I don't have anybody to confirm this, but this is what I visualize when I hear a liquidity grab, right? So when I am thinking the dealer is going to try to drive price back down to these areas to grab that liquidity, it is because these traders most likely either have stop losses beneath this entry if they buy here, or they don't have stop losses at all, right? We've all seen the trader. We have all seen the trader who enters the trade and he's 400 pips in drawdown. That 400 pips in drawdown is funding the rest of the market. Think about how many traders do that. Think about how many different traders would be okay with holding a 400 pip drawdown trade. You understand? So that's the interesting thing, right? Now, let's carry this a step further. Why would I think that it's going up all the time? Why would I think that all of a sudden it's going to just reverse here? That's not what it is, If you go on a higher time frame, you will quickly realize that your USD is actually very much bearish. So the buy that you might have been anticipating here, thinking that it is actually going up, the buy that the masses might have been thinking would have been happening, is an induction. Does that make sense? The buy is an induction. The buy is designed. This buy here is designed to do one thing. It is designed to make traders come into the market to produce that liquidity. The more buyers in a bear market there are, it is the more aggressive you're going to find the sells occur. Because that sell is being fueled by the buyers injecting their liquidity into the market. Why is it that so many buyers entering into the market, but yet the market still has all of this power being backed up? Why? Right? Bilal, I said I would deal with CADJPY just now. If you ask me again, I'm going to remove you. I'm going to deal with it just now. I'm talking about something here. Why is it that with all of this buying power, why is it that the market can sell off so aggressive? Why is it that EURUSD can buy over so many days, right? It can buy over so many days. Look at it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 days. That's the majority of a month. Yet it can drop in not on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. It is because this drop is being fueled by this climb. Does that make sense? If the market is overall bearish, I want you to be honest with me. Think about it. If the market is overall bearish, what is your reason for buying? Norwegian krona, and that is what the Swedish krona, I think. Norwegian SEK. I know that's the Norwegian krona against something. I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't trade that pair, but I'll check it out just now. Hey, Scaled Up, you in the house? What's up, buddy? How you doing? Right? So yeah, so think about it, right? Logically, if the market has been buying all of this time, we know that this is an induction, because what is your reason for buying the market if you know that overall it's bearish? So what I have quickly realized in my, not very long in the industry, right? I've been trading for more than 6 years or so, right? And that's not very long by the grand scheme of things. But what I have realized is, by trying to buy an absolute low, you might get it sometimes, You might get it sometimes, but the problem is, being consistent does not allow you to rely on the word sometimes. You want to be able to rely on the word more times, higher probability. So in a bear market, trying to buy is a very dangerous thing. And that's why I would have said exactly this can take place on EU. Now, watch this as well. Now, this is not the analysis that I produced last week. I literally produced this last night, where I said that it could possibly bounce around this area, continue to grab liquidity in this area, drop, right? And then it comes back up for some liquidity again. I think that there's more drop coming. Not before, though. Not before. EURUSD climbing a bit more to continue the drop. Where do I think it can climb to get to? You have to look for the last area. There's a major amount of liquidity. That, in my opinion, would be maybe something that looks like this. I'm thinking that EURUSD could potentially try to get to this area. And if it can get to this area and reject this area, so let me draw it here. If it can do this, get to this area and reject, that's a pretty strong sell, because the market, EURUSD, is still bearish. So if it can get up here, that's where, around this area, or after it gets into this area and starts to reject, is when I begin to look for my sell. You understand? Boy, laying in bed. So you're laying in bed, taking in the information. That's what we're talking about. So yeah, so that's EU, right? So we'll deal with Bilal. I told you I'll come to CADJPY just now. I promise I will. Just give me a little time. I will deal with it, right? I want to talk about the few other analysis that I would have had. So the next one that I would have done would have been GU, right? Now let's talk about GU. So y'all remember this? Again, let's count 7 days from today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is where the market was when I did my analysis. The market was literally right here, because this is the time I do my session for the Trading Nut YouTube live stream. This is the exact drawing I had, where the market is going to try to go up into this area, grab some liquidity, and then drop from this very area. Why? Think about it. GU overall, my friends, is bearish. It is bearish. So you might think that this is a support here, right? That is exactly what the dealer wants you to think. The dealer wants you to believe that this is a buy. The dealer wants you to make this, make this into a demand zone. They want that. They want you to enter for the longs here, right? But in actuality, if you realize GU is gone back bearish from this point, right, where it would have shot up quite briskly, grab some liquidity from this top side, and then start to go in the bearish direction again. This same grab is the exact same thing that I just drew on EU. Is the exact thing that I just drew on EU, where it's going to try to come up, grab some liquidity, and then continue down. Now you're probably wondering, like, how do you use this in tandem with an entry? What I'll tell you is, if you can get into the market after the market has grabbed liquidity, that's the best thing you could do. Let me tell you, that is the best thing you can do. And I'll show you an example of that, don't worry. Now, I would have done this, not last night, night before, in thinking that GU wanting to continue to sell might come up here to grab liquidity from this area, or maybe even this area here. It did sell, but it did not come up to grab liquidity from this area. Thus, obviously, no setup, no trade, right? But my analysis from last week was absolutely right and beautifully done as well. In that, anybody who was buying in this area, anybody who thought that this was a support, anybody who thought that this was just going to jump really high from here, you would be in an extreme amount of drawdown here. Think about the traders again who entered their trades with no stop loss. They would have been exposed to over 280 pips of drawdown. Imagine you enter this trade with the wrong lot size with no stop loss. Peter, what do you think about that, bro? What do you? I know we have, you know, similar beliefs in terms of stop losses. What do you think about that, bro? Imagine somebody ignorant again. You know they say ignorance is bliss. Somebody enters this trade thinking that it's a buy because it's a support, right? And they enter with the wrong lot size and they enter with no stop loss. What do you think? Margin call? I think so. I think so. That's exactly what the dealer does. That is exactly what the dealer does. And that is why I had that as an analysis. That it would grab liquidity from the top side, make traders think that it's going to buy, and then drop all of the way. Because by dropping all of the way, this here is being fueled by traders who are entering buys in this region. That is exactly what it is. So let's go to the next one now. All right, the next one that I had was NZDCAD. Y'all remember this drawing? Y'all remember this? This is exactly, look at here again. Count 7 days from now. 1, because you know this is the market starting the day here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is where I started my session here. All right? Watch it here. This is exactly what I had drawn. Thinking that the market is going to get up to this area, grab some liquidity, and then drop. Unfortunately, I did not pay attention to this. I did not pay attention to this zone here being a liquidity. But my direction again was right. Why am I able to get the direction right? This don't mean anything because I didn't get to take this, right? But this don't mean anything. What I want you to understand is direction. Most traders fail to properly produce or properly analyze the directional bias of the market because they are so focused on trying to get an entry. What you must first do is figure out where the market is going, is possibly going to go, and then you can try to enter based on that. So let's look at the higher time frame again. On the daily time frame, NZDCAD is absolutely bearish. It is absolutely bearish, right? So if I can align myself with the market, which is absolutely bearish, I come down on the 50-minute time frame. If it can come up, grab liquidity from the top side, make traders think that it's going to buy, and then drop. That's it. That's the best bet. That anytime after this here, you can sell, and you can get the most beautiful of sells. Right? Beautiful. Let's talk about the next one. The next one was UJ. This I think is probably one of the most beautiful. Let's count 7 days from today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My session started right here. You all remember this drawing? Just ignore these trend lines. I did this. I was working with a student in a one-on-one here. Just ignore these drawings. All right. But you all remember this? This exact thing that I drew? Anybody remembers that? Now, I'm not saying, right, that this automatically means you're going to win trades, because it doesn't. What it means is you are trying to get a general understanding of where the market might try to get to. Once you can understand where the market might try to get to, entries become so much easier. I want you to think about how many pips from this area the market went. Just from this area. Just from saying that it's going to grab liquidity in this area and then climb. From this area, UJ climbed a total of 370 plus pips. That's just, listen, in that, you know that this is bulls. If you can find direction like that, you'll be, I'm telling you, you will be golden. Right, Peter, I'll deal with USD, NVD. Need of Vietnam. That's interesting. We'll take a look at that, right? Right. So the next one would have been gold. Had this on gold as well. Watch the drawing, Look at the drawing here. Let's count the 7 days from today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My session started here. Look at where my drawing is. I said that gold is going to try to come up, grab liquidity, and then drop. Look at what it did. It came up, grab liquidity, and then drop. Now, this don't mean that I'm going to win every single time in terms of where I think it's going to go. It doesn't mean anything, because I'll show you an example on EG. I got it wrong. So I'm not trying to show you that, I'm always going to get it. You're not. I thought that EG is going to try to grab liquidity from this area and then climb, because EG overall is, guess what? Bullish. So I am thinking that it's going to try to grab liquidity from this area and then continue to buy. But in actuality, it did not have enough liquidity in this area, and that is why it would break it to seek liquidity from another area. I want you to stop and think about this logically as well. Let's just think of the market as when it's grabbing liquidity, it's eating because it's hungry. In order for it to keep functioning, it has to eat a meal. That meal is the liquidity of the masses, right? And in those masses, hedge funds also are included in the masses, right? Because let's be real, not every single hedge fund out here is profitable. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? You cannot go on doing your day-to-day routine without eating. You need to eat to fuel your body so that your body can turn that food into nourishment and energy so that you can do your thing. The market is the same thing. The market, what it theoretically does, and this is my breakdown of it. This could be absolutely wrong, but this is what I understand by the market, and this is what works for me. Here's what I think. The market, in order for it to do its day-to-day business, if it is going bullish, in order for it to keep going bullish, it needs to grab a meal. That meal is the sellers, coming in, thinking that it's going to actually sell off of the highest high. Let's be real, every seller, every retail trader, every mass trader wants to sell at the highest high. It's going to sell off of that high, grab that liquidity. The market has now ate. Once it ate and it's full on liquidity, that's when it's going to make its move. That's what makes sense to me. All right, now I could be wrong, but if you eat and you're not full, and you know that you have a lot of work doing, right? Once you start to feel hungry again, wouldn't you then go and try to eat again? That's exactly the case. That is exactly how I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it in terms of trying to understand directional bias. Once I can figure out where the market is going in terms of an overall direction and where the market is trying to grab liquidity from, what makes sense to me is once it grabs that liquidity and it aligns with the overall direction after the liquidity grab, I'm going to be looking for my entry. So the market is overall bullish. It comes in a slight bearish fashion and then starts to go bullish again. That's it. I'm looking for my buy. That's it. Right? Now, I'm not always going to get it. You're not always going to get it right. Sometimes you're going to be lied to when you ask the market certain questions. That's just the nature of the game, right? That is where proper risk management comes into play, right? But you will quickly realize that if you apply this theory, you will quickly realize that that's really what it is. It's direction and liquidity to fuel that direction further. That's it. Goal, I said goal climb and drop. Why? Because if we look at the directional bias on goal, you might say that here it's overall bullish, but look at this. From this point, March this year, all the way to now, gold has significantly been producing lower highs and lower lows, right? Telling us that it is indeed a bear market, at least for the majority of this year. That being said, any buy move, all of these things here, all of this, let me draw it. This is an induction to get the market to buy. Induction to get the market to buy. That's exactly what it is. Once the market buys enough and it grabs enough liquidity, that's it, it's gone. The market is not coming back. You understand? So that's what makes sense to me, right? That's what makes sense to me. Now, here's what I'll tell you. I got one wrong on US30, right? Didn't enter it, but I got one wrong. So I'm looking at US30, and overall, I'm saying US30 is bullish, right? I would say that. I would say US30 is bullish overall, and then I would say from this point, it's also bullish, right? But when I come down on the 50-minute time frame, I said that, you know what? It's actually showing me signs that it might be trying to grab liquidity, maybe here. Maybe it's going to try to grab liquidity and then climb. It never did that. In actuality, what it did is it dropped. But what I think I missed, and I'm trying to be a little transparent here, I think I missed this since the start of this year that it's actually been bearish. So I would have been induced had I entered the buy. I would have been a part of the liquidity grab because I would have been buying thinking that it's going to continue to buy. And in actuality, it's actually been bearish for the majority of this year. That's what being a trader is, eh? That's what being a trader is about. Talking about when, you know, you've lost the trade or when you've gotten the analysis wrong. In this case, I got it wrong. Just like on EG, I got it wrong. But it takes a very mature person to be able to admit that they got it wrong first and foremost. And then it takes a good trader to go and try to understand why you got it wrong. Because a lot of people, they lose the trade and they never try to understand why. You're not advancing anything by doing that. You're not making yourself any better by doing that. Yeah? So that's that. Now, Professor Pippage, I like that name. That's a good name. Professor Pippage says, did you go over AU, my guy? Interestingly enough, AU is one of the trades were taken, right? So this was done live with a student. Live, listen to me, live with a student, right? Where we were doing like a one-on-one session. Now, interestingly enough, AU is bearish, right? AU is bearish. That's clear as day. AU has been bearish since 2014, and then even since 2021 March, it's been bearish as well, having climbed up to this area, grab liquidity, and then continue in a bearish fashion. So if I come down to say the 50-minute, 30-minute, or whatever, all I need to find is where it grabs liquidity, and you know something, grabs liquidity in this area. And I mean, I could go into real detail about why I'm saying this is liquidity here, but I'll give you a little tip about it just now. But it grabs liquidity in this area and then drops. Interestingly enough, that same drawing that I did on EU, where it had the trend and the M pattern and all of that. Interestingly enough, that is exactly what AU also did, right? And right around this area, after that happened, that's where you look for your entry, because this is now a clear liquidity grab. Now, let's talk about why I would consider this a liquidity area. Why? What is my reason for considering this a liquidity area? So let me talk about this quickly, right? And then we'll move on to CADJPY and some of the others, right? So anybody ever heard the theory of when anywhere you see a lot of people, anywhere you see a lot of people, there's a lot of money? Anybody ever heard that theory? Anywhere you see a lot of people in a society, there's a lot of money in that area. I want you to picture now. Listen to what I'm saying. Picture now. All right. New York Times Square. Picture that. You ever realize Times Square? You ever see Times Square without any people in it? Anybody? Be honest. If you live in New York, right? Or you've ever been to New York, you ever see Times Square without anybody in it? I want you to now think about how the economy of New York Times Square alone is. Think about it. There are people selling stuff, buying stuff, money changing hands quickly. Anywhere you see a lot of people, there's a lot of liquidity, there's a lot of money, liquid cash moving around in that area, right? There's a big kind of intersection like that. Okay, Ariel, okay, all right, fine. You know what? Fine. The pandemic is something completely different. All right, let's not go there. You're right, but let's not go there, right? But I digress, right? There's one in, I believe it's Tokyo, right? I believe it's Tokyo. There's a big intersection. It was in the Fast and Furious movie, right? Tokyo Drift. There's a big intersection where, you know, like there's like hundreds of people crossing the roads, and it's a lot of people. Anytime you see a lot of people in one area, there's a lot of money in that area, because that money will be changing hands. This one buying hot dog, this one buying a newspaper, this guy selling CDs, this person have all this perfume, and that's how it works, right? Now, interestingly enough, you can see that on the chart, right? You can see that on the chart. Anywhere you see, and this is my perspective, right? I say this all the time. One of the biggest things a trader needs in their toolkit essentially is perspective, right? This is my perspective. I hope that I can translate it to you so that you can understand it and maybe apply it yourself. Anywhere that you see price repeatedly hitting an area, passing through an area, coming back to that area, this, I want you to visualize this as Times Square, right? Visualize this as Times Square. New York Times Square. There's a lot of people entering the market either off this area, by this area, around this area, on this area, above, below, in, out, all about, up, down, all around. You understand? Diagonal, crisscross, sideways, all of that. Look at how many times price has tapped this area in particular. This is Times Square. So we know that there's liquidity in this area. There'll be liquidity above it, in it, and below it, right? So that being said, if the market can come up to this area to grab some of that liquidity, and we know that it is overall bearish, if it can grab that liquidity, the likelihood, again, because everything is, let's be honest, right? Listen, some of you might be listening to this and saying this analysis sucks. Maybe it does. Maybe it does, right? Here's the interesting thing. It makes sense to me and it works, right? And I want you to, don't take my word for it, try it yourself. If it can come up here, align with the overall direction and the current direction, grab liquidity, so the market is now hungry and it's eating, it's coming here to grab liquidity, it makes sense, in my opinion, if it can reject this area, there's a higher likelihood of a sell incoming after it grabs the liquidity, because it is going to be following the overall momentum. Does that make sense? What do you all think about this? Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Is it doing the exact opposite of what you currently do? What do you all think about this thought process or this concept? I want you to picture the market only finding or doing two things: going in one specific direction and looking for liquidity in the opposing direction before it continues in that direction. One of the laws, and I've said this when I did my live, my interview on the Trading Nut live stream, I have a law that I live by. Don't go against the momentum unless the reversal is clear. Once I'm seeing bull momentum and I'm not seeing any sign that the market wants to reverse to the bear direction, by trying to look for sells, you are setting yourself up for failure. You could sell it and it might sell, but the problem with this is you are basing that sell off of a random area. You understand? You're basing that sell off of a random area. Maybe it's a support, maybe it's a key level, maybe it's an imbalance, maybe who knows what it is? But interestingly enough, if you can align yourself with the overall direction of the market, if you can align yourself with the current direction of the market, and those two things align, everything works better when it aligns. Let's be honest, right? If you can align yourself with those two things and make sure that the market has grabbed liquidity before you try to enter the market, the likelihood, because again, as I said, everything is based on likelihood and probabilities, right? Because you can take the trade even once you're following every single rule and then could still lose. But if you do these things in that order, the likelihood of you staying in that position is a lot higher, because you're aligning yourself with the overall direction. So you're not trying to fight against all of that momentum. And then you're making sure that the market has already grabbed liquidity before you get into the trade. And here's the significance of that. I use this analogy a lot with students that I do one-on-ones with. Anybody knows we all know what a boa constrictor is, right? Everybody in here knows what a boa constrictor is, right? It's those snakes that they grow like absolutely huge, the anaconda, whatever, right? They get huge, right? And they don't kill their prey by injecting venom. They kill their prey by constricting their prey, right? Interestingly enough, if that snake eats a deer, or if that snake eats a horse or a cow or a monkey or whatever, the likelihood of that snake gonna try to interfere with another monkey or another deer or another horse for a few weeks is unlikely. Is that correct? Is that true? You know why? Because that monkey is the exact fuel that we've been talking about. You understand? That deer is the fuel that we've been talking about. The snake is now using that food to fuel and build energy so that they can go about their business. They can keep slithering away till they full and they digest the food and they now move on to the next victim. You understand? So that's exactly what it is. Now Nick says something and I want to speak about this, right? I'm going to read it out loud. Wouldn't buying or selling opposite of the trend depend on the time frame you trade on? No, it would not, because the market is fractal, right? And this is why I'm also saying that you need to align both the overall and the current momentum, right? You listen to the words I'm using. So you said buying or selling opposite the trend would depend on the time frame. So what you're insinuating is, if I go on the 15-minute, it might be bearish, and then on the daily, it might be bullish. You're correct. That can happen. But what I've been saying, and again, go back and listen to what I said. I said that the direction, the overall direction on the higher time frame, meaning for the last 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year, 2 years, 14 years, the direction has been bullish. Once on the lower time frame, present day is also bullish. No, it's aligning. You understand? Because now it's showing, it's actually trying to present a visual that the market is trying to move back in that overall direction. And once it does move back in that overall direction, if it grabs the liquidity before you enter, no, you will not be going against the direction. You understand? I hope that answers the question. So I've delayed it enough. Let me take a look at CADJPY for Bilal. I hope you're still in here. CADJPY was one that I actually had this red. So this is overall bullish. So I should be looking for buys, right? Let's see. So that's exactly what I had. I said that it could try to come down to this area to grab liquidity. Look, Times Square here. This is where we know that there's a lot of liquidity. Try to grab liquidity from that area. But in actuality, it did it way before and it just moved off. But it did buy. And interestingly enough, I think it is going to continue to buy because this big, I mean, I want us to talk about something here as well, right? What is the reason for the market shooting down so hard and then coming back? This, you know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of? You walking on the road. You're just minding your business and you're walking on the road. And you stop, you turn around, walk 3 steps, and then turn back around to walk the original direction you've been going. Why would you do that? Why would you do? What's the reason for doing that? Now, in the real world, doing that is kind of silly, right? But in the market, what this kind of tells me is this is the liquidity grab that we talk about. And interestingly enough, look at where it goes in this exact area that I had highlighted here. Interesting, eh? Now, I didn't have this drawn. I honestly did not have this drawn. I didn't expect to do that. I have drawn this since when? Since last week. So I didn't have it drawn. But interestingly enough, I do believe that it has just grabbed liquidity, and I think that it can continue up. Right? That's my take on CADJPY. I believe that buys are still very much imminent because overall, so Nick, I believe, yeah, Nick, right? The overall direction is bullish, and you realize on CADJPY, it's also bullish here. So this drop here, I'm not trying to buy up here. I'm trying to buy after this happens. Then I'm going to try to get in. That makes sense? Liquidity grab, stop loss grab. Yes, so you're right. So eCharles says stop loss grabs. So you can call it a stop loss grab. Maybe it's not a stop loss. Because what about the traders who trade without stops? That means that they wouldn't be grabbed, right? No. What about if it is you are thrown so deep into drawdown that you manually decide to close the trade because you can't take that amount of drawdown? Or maybe what about you're thrown so deep into drawdown that the account can't take it and the broker margin calls you? So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's hitting stops there, you know. It just means it's going really aggressive against the majority of people who are entering, just so that it can grab that liquidity enough such that it can use that same liquidity to continue in a bull direction. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that this is being translated in the way that I want it to be translated. You understand? And it ran all of those equal lows on the 15-minute. I'm not sure what exactly you're referring to. I can't take it. What are you referring to? Is it I'm sick after 10 pips? What do you mean? As in the drawdown? Bro, I am right there with you. I am right there with you. Anything more than 10 pips, I tell you, my stomach starts to hurt. You understand? Anything after 10 pips, my stomach starts to hurt. It starts to make me feel like I ain't bathed for 10 days. You understand? That's what it makes me feel like. I just feel like I feel dirty. You understand? Holding a trade in more than 10 pips of drawdown. You understand? So I am right there with you, bro. I am right there with you. Right? I saw some people say they want us to take a look at a few things. Let me scroll up here quickly. All right. So CADJPY did that already. CADJPY. All right. NOK, SEK. Pohai Rodriguez. I hope I pronounced your name correct. NOK SEK. I know NOK is the Norwegian krona, but what is SEK? I think that is the Swedish krona, I think. NOK SEK. Swedish krona. Right. Perfect. All right. So let's take a look at that. All right. Now this is an exotic. All right. So let's go. All right. So far on the 50-minute time frame, this is bullish, right? I am anticipating if I should be looking for a buy here, the daily time frame should also show me that it is overall bullish. If it is not and it's overall bearish, this bull move is an induction. So it's overall bullish. Meaning it makes sense now for me to try to prioritize looking for buys. So here's what we do. We can come down. So I'm showing you how I might perform an analysis on this. We can come down on lower time frames, time frame by time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30. And we're going to look for areas where it might have grabbed liquidity or might try to grab liquidity. So I'm going to look at maybe this. And it looks like it just grabbed liquidity from there. I'm going to look at this, meaning this is where it could potentially be trying to go. All right. This makes sense to me, meaning it could be potentially trying to go here. And then I'm going to look at this up here, meaning this is the ultimate area where it's going to try to get to. Now, to get to this area, it could do it if it has enough liquidity. It could do it if it has enough liquidity in one move, but it's unlikely that it will happen. Remember, the market will never move like this. There's a reason why the market moves like this. These are the liquidity grabs, my friends. Does that make sense? Please, I hope that it is being translated in the way that I want it to be translated. Is it coming across how I want it to come across? Does it make sense? No, I am not funded. I don't need to be funded. All right. All right. So coming down to the 1 hour time frame now. All right. You can see how aggressive it came down. Remember, I just spoke about, this, where it comes down really aggressive and then just moves. It's kind of come like all the time. This is it. Let's just say this is a sidewalk. You, as a man or woman, you're walking this way. So you're walking this way all the time. 50 blocks you're walking this way. And then when the time you reach here, you just stop, turn around, walk this way for 3 steps, and then decide, you know what? No, you're not. I'll continue this way instead. What is the reason for that? What is the reason for just stopping and turning around? It doesn't make sense, right? Now, interestingly enough, in the market, it does have a reason. And in my opinion, this here is the liquidity grab. So looking for an entry after this move on, let's just say the 50-minute time frame, looking for an entry after here is one of the safest things you could do. I hope that makes sense. All right, cool. So let's go. So that's Norwegian krona against the Swedish krona. All right. So the next one would be USD Vietnam dollar. Is it the Vietnam dollar, Peter? I'm not sure. Is it what do they have? They have a dollar or what they have? A shona? What they have? So where's the USD NVD, right? USD NVD. So let me see. USD NVD. I don't know if it is that's up here. That's not up here, bro. You catch more off guard there, man. Good. So what currency does Vietnam use though? Like that's actually a real question. What currency does Vietnam use? I'm not sure. Anybody knows what currency Vietnam uses? Is it that they use the Chinese dollar? That's interesting. Let me see. So wait, I wonder if I spelled it wrong. That's not. VND. Oh, it's a dong they use. Okay, you spelled it wrong, bro. You put NVD, or did I read it as NVD? Oh, VND. Okay, yeah. I spelled it wrong. My bad. Okay, my apologies. Okay, good. So let's be on the 50-minute time frame. Cool. So, bro, you can't trade this, bro. Bro, you can't trade this, bro. We cannot trade this. Look at this. I mean, Peter, I hope you're seeing this. I can't trade this. This is price action that I can't use. All right, down. They use down. All right, cool. So cool. All right. So we did AU, we did VND. All right, cool. Let's see what is the next one. All right, so let's see. Which one? I think I saw somebody say they want NAS. Let's look at the NAS. The NAS 100. So on the 15-minute time frame, the NAS is bearish, but it's actually consolidating right now. On the daily, it's actually bullish. So you see, so well, all right. So it's bullish overall, but this here makes me consider, okay, so from since December 2021, it's been bearish. So it could continue potentially to be bearish. So now I would try to find where it might try to get liquidity from. So let's see. So let's look at the 4-hour. It actually looks like it grabbed the liquidity already, insinuating that a move could be prevalent. So this is Times Square here. This is where all the liquidity is. Let's keep coming on and see if it gets any. I think more potential sells for the NAS. Based on what I'm seeing here, I think more sells for NAS. Right? 10 pips a day keeps the FOMO away. Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. Almost feel like I got a realization of the market. It's the liquidity grabs that keep the market moving in its direction. If the market moves straight up there, bro, but that's what it is. That is exactly what it is. Think about it, right? Can anything move without energy? Right? And nothing can move without energy. And the market is the same thing. I want you to picture this, right? The money have to come from somewhere. Let me put this comment up, right? The money has to come from somewhere. Where is it coming from? Where is it being injected? Where is it being deposited? Once you can figure out, or I don't want to say figure out, but once you can try to conceptualize where it is being deposited into the market by virtue of liquidity zones, liquidity areas, it's very likely if you can allow the market to just go in its direction, it's very likely that that is going to continue in that direction. It's only when it truly rejects an area. And when I say truly rejects, listen, a reversal, you will know a reversal. You will know it. You will know it, right? Because a true reversal is so fast. Because think about it, the market cannot reverse, right? Again, first things first, if it doesn't have enough liquidity to do so, because that requires energy as well, right? But a true reversal happens so quickly because the dealer, which is the person who's actually in control of the market, whether it be one person, two people, a couple, an old age couple, an entire group of people, an entity, an algorithm, whatever it is, the dealer, right? In order for them to reverse the market, they want to do it so quickly that people don't get the ability to get in at a really good price. So yes, liquidity grabs are what keep the market moving. So if you are not seeing the market grabbing liquidity and you enter the market before it grabs the liquidity, it is a very high likelihood that you are going to be a part of the liquidity. I hope that makes sense. All right. All right. Vietnam is down. All right. Cool. So does that mean I can go? Yeah, bro, I don't know. All right. Kaumi Gillen, this live is really fire. Thank you for, I like your style of teaching. I appreciate that, my brother. I really do. All right. Edgar Santiago, please listen. All right, so let's take a look at gold. And yeah, so everybody wants me to take a look at gold. Right, so let's go to gold. Now, again, I would have analyzed gold last week. I'm going to do it again. So I'm looking at this here. This is liquidity. Interestingly enough, watch where the last zone that I had. Watch where it comes to. Interesting, eh? Look at that. It comes right there, and as it gets there, it starts to run away. That is the safest place. After that happens, that is the safest place to begin to look for yourself, right? Gold is still very much bearish, right? It's bullish from, all the way from 2014, 2016, whatever. But you see this here from the start of this year? This is the mistake I made on US30. This here is a bear market. So trying to trade gold for buys right now is a very dangerous thing to do. Even though you could have said that, it grabbed liquidity from this low and climbed 170 pips. That's nothing in comparison to what gold can do if it grabs enough liquidity from the buyers. As you know, gold could easily move 4, 5, 600 pips in a day. If it has enough liquidity to do so, it will. It can and it will. You understand? Okay, sorry. Let me get rid of this. What do? Put them in timeout or block? Do I block? I'll block. Perfect. All right, good. I appreciate that, bro. Peak metaphors. I try my best. I really try my best, right? Did you go for USDT yet? No, I didn't. I did kind of, but I didn't analyze it for this week. So let's take a look at that now quickly. So again, USDT, like I said, is in a bear market currently, as in for the majority of this year, since last year, December, it's been in a bear market and it's bearish now. So the question is, where can it potentially grab liquidity from? So what I would do, let's go back to the daily and work our way down to see if there are any zones that are very prevalent. So let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, so nothing really jumping out of the 4 hour for me. Maybe here. Let's see. Yeah, I would say maybe here. Maybe here. Like this. So let's go down again to the 1 hour to see if that aligns with anything. Yeah, I think so. Right? I think so. Right? So what I am thinking for USDT is maybe something that looks like this and then this. So what I would do in this case, I'd set an alert. And I'd set an alert in this zone here, in this gray zone here, and just setting an alert. Not no cross or no EMAs or nothing like that. I'm just setting an alert. If price can get into this area, I would begin to look at the market on the USDT market how it reacts to this area. And anytime I see it start to reject this area, I'm going to be looking for my sell. But I am bearish on USDT as of presently. I learned my lesson with that. It is not bullish, it is bearish. So that's my take on USDT. Right? Share a metaphor of a blind banker, a rabbi, a rabid dog, and a nun. I want you to share it, bro. I want you to share it. All right, so we did USDT. Yeah, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Where did you place the price? Oh, okay. You want me to explain where I put the zone? Okay, so I went on the daily, and I have zones drawn up on the daily already. So I come down just to get a more condensed perspective, right? So I'm going to leave these two zones here. The reason why I'm using this zone is this is the last major area prices passing through frequently. And then when I look at this, I'm saying, you know what? Maybe prices pass through here. That looks pretty healthy. Come down on the lower time frame. It's passing through here quite frequently again. So that looks healthy. So I think USDT could do something like that. That's why I chose that area. And it could be wrong. So here's the beautiful thing with this, right? If you see USDT get into this area and not reject, and it does this, it disregards any consolation for sells in this area. The next thing you could consider is maybe it does this. Make sense? So it's not a matter of you just selling when you're just randomly selling when it gets here. That's not what we're doing. If you're doing that, it's better you just put a limit order. We're not trying to do that. You are monitoring how price reacts when it gets here. In other words, I'm reacting to a prediction that I have. Yeah? So that's what I have there. Retail is the blind guy who thinks he moves the markets. Rabbit dog is the dealer and the nun is your stop loss. Okay, interesting. Interesting. All right. All right. GG. All right, cool. GG. All right, let's take a look at that. So GJ ranging right now. We have a zone here. It's not bullish or bearish in my opinion. It's actually just ranging significantly. It's more bearish than bullish, but I think GG overall is bullish. Yeah, so it's bullish overall. So I would leave GG alone for now because it's not cleared on the direction that it wants to go presently. Overall, it's bullish, yes, but right now, because it's not cleared on the direction it wants to go, I think it's a dangerous thing to try to buy or sell. I'm more skewed to buys, but I wouldn't try to look for a buy just yet. I think that it is accumulating here to continue to accumulate liquidity. So I would leave GG alone for now. Right? GA, All right. So if the GBP pairs are positively correlated, it might be a similar situation. Okay, it's not actually. So they're not positively correlated. So I would say GA is actually bearish as of present on the 15. Let's look at the daily. Daily is also bearish. So it makes sense that, let's see. So let's look for the liquidity area, right? So the last major area of liquidity, in my opinion, would be here. Is the last major area, right? Does it align with anything in the past? Yeah, I guess you could say it aligns a little bit. Let's go down, see if it makes some sense. Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. 1 hour. Yeah, I think so. I think it makes some sense. Let's go to the 15. So I think GA could potentially grab and drop. Dependent on how it reacts to this area, yeah, we could probably look for something. So again, set an alert at the start of this area. Pay attention to how it's reacting to this area. That's my thoughts on GA. All right. So that's that. I will place that. All right, good. Yeah, no problem, Peter. Enjoy the rest of your night. Or day. I'm not sure what time it is by you. Yeah. Do we have any questions? Anybody want me to take a look at anything else before we close off? What's my favorite pair to trade? AUDUSD. I love AUDUSD. AUDUSD is a very, very, very easy pair. Well, I want to say a simple pair to trade because it does move quite a bit, but it's a docile pair. It's not a pair that's going to wick you out very often. If you can get a good entry, oftentimes you'll be surprised as to how long you could stay in a trade on AU. All right, AU is definitely the number one. UJ is up there, gold is up there, EU is up there, GJ is up there. But AU is definitely my favorite. And my favorite index would be US30. I don't trade any others. Yes, I do use the provision of TradingView. Yeah, is the provision of TradingView, provision of Zoom. If you can pay for something, if you can invest in yourself, it makes more sense, right? Instead of investing, well, I'm just say investing, instead of spending money on nonsense, invest in yourself. Anything that you invest in yourself automatically becomes an asset because it adds to you. You understand? Is it worth it? Yes, I think so. Well, for me, the reason why I would say that is the ads. I hate ads. I absolutely hate ads. And the replay function works when I am teaching. So like in a case like this, the replay function would definitely serve a very big purpose. Now, I didn't use the replay function anytime today, but if I'm doing one-on-ones with students or anything, it would help a lot, right? I checked gold already. I think gold is going to continue down. Gold is going to continue bearish, but it might come up for some liquidity first. So yeah, I think it could come down. I think actually maybe it did grab the liquidity, but it's in an interesting place. It's in the middle of these two ranges. I don't really like that right now, so I'd leave that alone for now. All right. CADJPY, let's take a look at that. Right, so y'all said y'all are seeing people thanking me for the explanation of liquidity. Guys, I want y'all to remember this is my perspective. This is what I believe. I could be wrong. I want to make that clear. I could be wrong. All right. I'm not shy about admitting when I'm wrong. I'm not, opposed to it. I'm actually gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you when I got it wrong. I'm gonna tell you when I lose the trade. I'm gonna tell you when I'm in a losing streak. Tell you when I'm having a bad day, week, month, or year. I'm gonna tell you. You understand? I try my best. I'm not going to show you exactly how much money I make, but I am going to tell you when I am not doing, I'm not functioning on, 100% efficiency. You understand? I'm going to tell you when it loses, tell you when I get it wrong, tell you when I'm not seeing it, etc., etc. CHFJPY, this is what I thought could happen, right? I thought that it could bounce off of this area, grab some liquidity, and then go up because CHFJPY is overall bullish, so it makes sense that it can continue to buy. And it went back bullish here. So I was like, all right, cool. Maybe it's going to continue, grab some liquidity from here and then continue. Apparently, I got the liquidity zone wrong. Maybe it's actually going to buy here. Who knows? But because I was wrong about this, I wouldn't try to actively look for a setup on this right now. I would leave CHFJP alone presently. All right. So that's that. How often do you go live? Every Tuesday now. Every Tuesday. Right around this time. How to join my channel? If you want, you can message me for information on anything that I do. Everything is at Kata Trading. TikTok, Telegram, YouTube, Instagram, Anything. Yes, just type in Ikata Trading, you must see me at Ikata Trading. If you don't know if the person you're talking to is me, ask me to send you a video doing something weird. Send you a video with a fork on my head or with a pen in my hand, something, and I'll verify that it's me. Because let's be real, there are a lot of scammers in the industry, and everybody will try to be me just to try to scam you out of your money. Don't fall for it. Ask me to verify that it is me, and I will do so. Yeah. Uh, do you like trading GBPJPY? I'm new to the channel. To be honest, bro, I like GJ when it is behaving. Right? I like GJ when it's behaving. Some time ago, some people coined GJ with a name, Olivia. Cause they say GJ is like a bad bitch. You understand? Olivia is just a bad bitch. You understand? So GJ tends to be very docile sometimes, but GJ for me is, she'll give you money, but she might also stab you in your back. You understand? So yeah, that's how I look at GJ. All right, I did CHFJPY already. AU looks clean as you said. Yes, I agree. Right, what is my style of trading? I I have my own style of trading essentially. So I've created my own style by all of the lessons I've learned over the years. Right? UJ, check UJ again. I think UJ is just gonna continue to buy based on what I'm seeing. I think it's going to continue to buy. I could be absolutely wrong about that, by the way. I would not buy it yet, though, because this is not. I want to say that this is a liquidity grab, but it's a weird area. So I'll be careful. I would like to see it go up a little bit more before I try to enter anything on UJ. Right? Good. Ikata Trading. EKATATRADING. Yeah? EKATA. Let me put it here. And for anybody asking what it means unity in Hindi and in Sanskrit. Yeah. Guys, do we have any questions before we close off? We've been here for an hour, give or take. I try not to go past an hour. I know you guys have lives and you all have things that you all have to do and want to do. Yeah. Any questions before we close off? Anybody doesn't understand? Anybody wants better clarification on anything? Yeah, talk to me. Let me know. If you have any questions and you want to contact me directly, you are welcome to do so at Ikata Trading. Right? Preferred method of contact would be Telegram. Right? I'm most active on Telegram. You message me there, I'll answer probably almost instantly. Right? I don't have a life. Keep going. Hey, listen, I love you all. I love you all. I really do. I really do. Yeah, guys. So, CADJPY, I think I did that already. Oh, yeah, I did. That was what Bilal wanted me to do. CADJPY, I think it's just mobiles, like I said. CADJPY is just mobiles. So, yeah, guys, I think we could close it off here. If you have any questions that aren't answered, like I said, you are free to message me, contact me directly. Telegram, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Email me if you want and all. If you go on my YouTube, you'll see my email. Guys, other than that, I'm going to close it off here. My next session will be next week, Tuesday, same place, same time. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. If you are going to be taking any trades this week, please practice proper stop loss placement, proper risk management. I really hope that you guys heed my warning with this. All right? Heed my warning. Proper stop loss placement, proper risk management. You see, if you do not do this, my friends, I'm telling you, it don't matter what strategy you use, you are almost guaranteed to lose that account. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. The problem a lot of traders have is they can't trade, They can absolutely trade. But here's the problem. When they start to lose, you know what happens? They tend to spiral out of control because you're losing so big, so freakishly big, that what happens is that's it. You don't know how to recover. You understand? So yeah, my friends, I'm gonna close it off here. Like I said, the link is Ikata Trading on Telegram. I'm gonna put it here. Let me just put it here quickly if anybody wants it, right? t.me/Ikata Trading. Right? Anybody wants it there? That's where it is. Guys, have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. and I will see you guys very, very soon. Peace out, guys.